As the congressional hearing began, the air was thick with tension. Cameras were rolling, members shuffled papers, and aides whispered in corners, all sensing something dramatic was about to unfold. What started as a routine discussion on Hunter Biden's business dealings quickly spiraled into one of the most unforgettable confrontations on Capitol Hill. Byron Donalds sat calmly, his expression steady, waiting for his moment to speak. Across from him, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, AOC, looked confident and poised, her energy unmistakable. The chairman's voice broke through the silence. "Chair recognizes Mr. Donalds for 5 minutes." And that's when everything changed. Donalds began quietly, walking the committee through evidence, messages, charts, and financial webs tied to the Biden family. His tone was deliberate, surgical, like a man building a case piece by piece. Then he turned to the witnesses, asking firm questions about Hunter Biden's companies, their structure, and money flow. The answers came with caution: complicated business entities, interlinked transactions, red flags everywhere. AOC shifted in her seat, ready to pounce. She interjected with her signature passion, her voice echoing across the chamber. But Donalds didn't even flinch. He looked straight at her and said, "We're not here to make TikTok clips. We're here to fix problems." Laughter rippled through the room. Even a few Democrats couldn't hide their smiles. For a moment, the energy shifted entirely. The showmanship was replaced by substance. AOC wasn't one to back down. She launched into a fiery defense, invoking social justice, climate urgency, and working-class struggle. But Donald's response hit like a hammer. "I came from nothing," he said, leaning forward. "Don't lecture me about struggle." His voice was calm, but the weight behind it silenced the room. That wasn't political theater. It was lived experience. He spoke of work, responsibility, and how policies built on slogans failed the very people they claimed to help. Even those opposed to him couldn't deny his composure. As he spoke, AOC tried to interrupt, but he brushed it aside, saying, "You had your time. Now let's deal with reality." Applause followed. The chamber, so often filled with chaos, now buzzed with respect. Not agreement, but recognition. The hearing grew heavier when Donalds turned the discussion to the Hunter Biden investigation. He motioned to the screen behind him, revealing an IRS organizational chart from 2014, a maze of companies and connections. "When I first saw this," he said, "I thought it looked like a developer's map of real estate holdings. But this isn't real estate. There are no buildings, no services, no products, just money moving." His experience in banking lent credibility that even critics couldn't dismiss. Witnesses nodded. Yes, one confirmed. This would be a red flag for any investigator. AOC tried to regain ground, questioning his motives, accusing him of attacking the president's family for politics. But Donalds didn't bite. He looked at her and replied, "You can care all you want. But if your policies don't work, caring isn't enough." The line hit like lightning. Reporters scribbled, cameras zoomed in, and AOC's expression faltered. Donald's calm delivery cut through her emotion like a blade. He then read aloud one of the most talked-about text messages in recent memory, between Hunter and Jim Biden. "You've been drawn into something purely for the purpose of protecting Dad." The room fell silent. Donalds turned to the witness. "Would this message warrant further investigation?" She didn't hesitate. "Yes," the word landed with force. Donalds continued, his voice steady but heavy with implication. "If this text connects Hunter's business to the president himself, we owe it to the American people to follow it, wherever it leads." He went further, displaying another text. "I hope you all do what I did and pay for everything for this entire family for 30 years. The witness nodded again when asked if that suggested money flowing between father and son. "Absolutely," she said. The tension was electric now. Cameras flashed, whispers filled the aisles, and AOC leaned back, visibly frustrated. Her earlier confidence gave way to silence as Donalds continued presenting evidence. One slide after another, every sentence backed by documentation. There was no shouting, no insult, just cold, precise logic. The laughter that had once been aimed at his confidence was now directed at the absurdity of the opposing arguments. AOC tried to redirect the debate, accusing Donalds of misrepresenting facts, but he held his ground. "We're dealing with numbers, not narratives," he said. "If your ideas collapse under truth, then maybe they weren't that strong to begin with." It was the kind of line that instantly went viral. The audience, normally divided by party, broke into murmurs of approval. It wasn't about winning or losing, it was about clarity. Even the witnesses, professionals trained to stay neutral, looked impressed by his composure. By the end of his questioning, the room that had started as a political battlefield had become an auditorium of reluctant respect. Donalds leaned back in his chair, his face calm, his mission clear. "Leadership isn't about outrage," he said. "It's about accountability." When the chairman ended his time, a faint round of applause followed, a rare bipartisan gesture in an era of division. As he left the microphone, reporters rushed out to break the story. Within minutes, clips hit the internet. Titles read, "Byron Donalds destroys AOC in viral hearing." "Donalds exposes Hunter Biden link," and "Logic silences Congress." But the truth was deeper. He hadn't destroyed anyone. He had demonstrated control. Social media exploded. Millions watched the video, replaying his calm demeanor and the exact moment AOC's talking points fell flat. Commentators from both sides praised his focus. Even neutral journalists admitted it was one of the cleanest takedowns Congress had seen in years, not because of aggression, but because of restraint. Fact-checkers confirmed his quotes and sources, further cementing his credibility. It was a performance not of politics, but of principle. Outside the Capitol, Donald spoke briefly to the press. A reporter asked if he thought he had been too harsh on AOC. He smiled slightly and replied, "Ignoring facts while pretending to help people, that's the real cruelty." That quote spread faster than the hearing itself. Late-night talk shows played it, political channels analyzed it, and even rival politicians privately admitted that Donalds had shown rare composure. He didn't need to raise his voice. His confidence came from preparation, not ego. Over the next few days, as networks dissected the confrontation, analysts replayed his every gesture, his posture, pauses, and tone. They called it a masterclass in composure under fire. AOC's team tried to push back, claiming he twisted her words, but the footage told another story. Every statistic he cited was verified. Every document shown had backing. For once, even critics had to admit the facts were on his side. The viral clip wasn't just entertainment. It became a symbol of what debate in Congress could be when logic replaced performance. The laughter that had once filled the chamber no longer felt mocking. It felt cleansing, a rare sound of truth cutting through politics. Viewers at home, tired of partisan shouting matches, saw something different that day. A man who didn't yell, didn't grandstand, but simply stood firm. Byron Donalds had turned a chaotic hearing into a lesson on control, truth, and the power of composure. His closing words summed it all up perfectly. "This isn't about me. It's about accountability in Washington." That sentence lingered long after the cameras stopped rolling. Because for one brief moment, amidst all the noise, Congress didn't sound like chaos. It sounded like clarity. And the man who made that happen walked away, not as a politician seeking applause, but as a reminder that sometimes calm truth speaks louder than the loudest performance.